Whoops, that was the wrong intro. I obviously meant to play the City Skylines 2 intro, so hey and welcome back. We're definitely not going to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer today. However, we're actually building a large graveyard with a custom church. And yeah, maybe in the night, Buffy might actually wander around here for some time, but who knows. Okay, so we're getting started by placing the German police station and some German school buildings and putting them together to create some sort of a custom church. I first created a larger version of this, but I kind of wanted a slimmer version, so I moved all the buildings together and also only took one of the fire watchtowers from the community fire station and yeah, put those elements all together in order to create a nice looking little church. I also put a additional building from the base game graveyard right in front. I think it's a mausoleum or something like that, and yeah, also kind of fitting, being a more elegant entrance, if you know what I mean. And also I did the gazebo trick again. We used it for the other church as well, and now I'm going to put it on this one, right on the top, on the roof. And yeah, I think it fits quite well. However, I didn't like that there was this little gap by the community fire watchtower, so I added a brick wall in order to close that gap. And yeah, I kind of copied those. Unfortunately, the Ctrl Z mod is not available yet, so I had to do that by hand, but it still worked fine. I moved things around with the manipulation tool and later on moved it up to the clock tower by the Move It mod. Finally, I added another building to the side of the church so that it isn't as symmetrical anymore. Right in front of it, I created a central square, and of course I moved the church right in the middle of it, and yeah, then surrounded the main surface with another margin surface that I found particularly interesting or good looking. So the combination kind of made sense, I guess. In the end, the square is also quite empty, to be honest, and I didn't really know what to add to it. Maybe some of you guys have some cool, churches or graveyards nearby, maybe, that you could find some inspiration from. And yeah, maybe write it in the comments if you have anything that comes straight to your mind that we could add to our little square here. As a next step, I started to create the graveyard, and I did that by using some new stuff from PDX mods. What I used here was the streams and ditches decals, and they are absolutely amazing. I love those. Everything that's, connected to water is probably going to make me really happy in the end. And yeah, I used the little thing here to create a little stream and decorated it, of course. You might have already noticed that I changed my video format a tiny bit. You see, I talk a bit more and also a bit more freely, and I switched from preparing a finished script that I wrote to this version because I think it's easier actually for me to do. The other one had more general information, and this freestyle kind of gives me the option to go in a bit more depth to, tell you how I actually build things. Just like here, where I grew some pathways that kind of loop, you know, the whole build. So you can always return to your starting point and actually have a nice walk through the graveyard. It's probably easier for me to do those kind of videos, so I probably stick to this kind of format. And also I'll try to create shorter videos because the 50-minute versions are simply too long to talk through, like 50 minutes without putting on a lot of music, and that is probably also kind of boring for you guys. So also here I cut a few things out. For example, placing a lot of gravestones. I actually used the old ones from the base games at first, but also mixed a few of the UK region pack ones in, because they look much better in my opinion. I believe they are actually there because they used it for the UK church we have got. And yeah, as I said, I like those much better. But I still tried to mix in a few of the more antique stone ones. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I took lots of inspiration for my builds from Google Earth, and here as well I took some inspiration from German graveyards, but I actually didn't keep that close towards the inspiration because it would look like a forest if I did. Yeah, so they are kind of crowded with trees in the end. I used a variety of different decals for this build, and I actually enjoy how it comes together in the end. I also placed some decoration elements, for example benches, bins, and also drew some net lanes around the graveyard, and it actually makes this place feel like a little park where you actually would go and, you know, do some leisure activities or something like that, but in the end it's still a graveyard, so I guess we won't do that here. For the pond I used a water surface, and I actually like those because they blend in with the environment really good. Doesn't have any sharp corners whatsoever. And also I made sure to decorate again with lots of decals, fallen leaves, other greenish stuff that floats around in the pond, and also finished it up by using some surfaces. For example, Sully's riverbed surface is a really good fit. I really love those. And they get, you know, covered up a bit with some more bushes and plants whatsoever. Also, of course, some decoration. You can put in whatever you like, but try to surround it with a bit of plants and it will probably look great in the end. Then I went on to the subway, or more like the elevated subway right now, and I used a new mod which added some slabs to create a more structured, you know, elevation thing. I don't know how to call it right now. It's a bit late here. It's actually 3 AM and the German version is already out, so my brain is already kind of used right now, so I hope you don't mind too much. I tried to cover it up with some Real Vision, stone brick wall decals, and I think that makes it look even better. Then I added some plants because we're actually going to place lots of trees in the end right in front of it, so it probably makes sense to have that there. Then I went on with the Mausoleum, which is actually quite small, but I wanted to have one in my graveyard as well. And I also created a little sneaky way here that is used by some people as a shortcut, for example. And it's more like a dirt path because, of course, it's not meant to be used that way. But you know how people are. Maybe they have been around there for a while. Then I went on with some more UK content, like a fence, drawing it around the main square, so to say, and also added some more decoration to the gravestones by adding some flowers that maybe some people of their beloved ones have brought to them, so that they at least have a nicely decorated tombstone. In front of the church I added a little fountain and decorated it with decals, of course, because it looks so much better if you do that. And yeah, the rest I kept empty, as I said in the beginning, so recommendations are very welcome. And also I couldn't resist, I added another little pond here because I love water. Maybe I'm gonna build a huge lake next where people can go to have a little summer plunge or something like that, because like here it's very warm right now, and I could at least have some cool water fun in City Skylines, if not here in real life right now. Okay friends, it's finally done. Now we can go to a better place, which is the outro, of course. If you liked the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my newer episodes. Thanks so much for the support, I really appreciate it guys, but for now let us rest in peace. Okay, sorry, I swear this was the last pun for this video regarding graveyards, so let's roll the outro. Bye bye!